through a minute and then we'll be live.
Zion.
No, this is an Era, wasn't it?
No,
Oh, this is Zion. Ah, yes, okay. They all blur together. Here's the working position.
Yeah, that looks comfy.
Finally get around here, Joe. Storage there, storage here, storage there. Ta-da! Hey, I
Hey.
switched our names around, so we actually got the
So
labels
you're
right.
actually Chris and I'm Cherie tonight.
Yes, I'm Chris.
And I get to be Cherie tonight.
Yes, and we are Technomadia, and hopefully some of you have tuned into us before, and actually maybe a lot of you are tuning in for the first time because we were blown away by how many people watched that last video we did about our trip to the Tampa RV show to look at RVs, Class Bs.
Class Bs, yeah. So extremely quick recap is we're Technomadia. We have been full-time RVers for almost 13 years now.
April 1st is my nomadiversary, 13th.
Full-time nomads because
Yeah.
we have a vintage bus conversion as our primary RV right now. And we are currently aboard our boat in Florida. We split our year between the two, or at least that's the intention. And we are looking for a Class B to move between the boat and the RV. That's the quick recap.
Yes, and so yeah, the last video goes in a bit more of that, and that video got so many people watching it, replying to it, asking questions, and asking just how our hunt's going and stuff like that. So we're here tonight to both answer the frequently asked questions, give an update on our hunt, and then also just take questions here in the audience.
Yeah, so we have some questions queued up. There were about 10 frequent questions that came up in all of the comments, both on the blog post version, which there is a link in the description if you haven't read that yet, and also in the video that we posted about revealing our van hunt. And this has been in the works since last September is when we came up with the idea. So hopefully these questions will help clarify
What we're up to,
what
and
we're up
looking
to
for.
and why, and there's some good questions as to why we're not doing different things.
Okay.
So let's get to the first one.
Ding. Okay, why not continue to hotel hop and rent RVs?
Make this camera come down some so that our heads are a little taller.
Can't you just make your head a little taller?
I could sit up higher.
Yeah, there
Okay.
we go.
All right.
Oh yeah, because your head, you're kind of falling down here. Now I got to get lower there. Okay.
So the way that we are currently moving between the bus and the boat, and we've only done it twice so far, is we store one, we get in our Mini Cooper, which we normally tow behind our bus.
And the Mini Cooper's the size of a Matchbox car, so
Kind of, sort of.
almost, yeah.
And then we drive across country. And we do hotels along the way. The Mini Cooper is not terribly comfortable for long road trips. It's great for local travel.
Yes.
So, and we do hotel hopping in between. And we find pet-friendly hotels to move in and about. And the last trip that we did from Texas
back to Florida
was... We did 3 nights in hotels?
4.
Plus your parent, stop at your parents' house.
Yeah, so hopping like that.
It's fine. It works fine.
It works fine. But it is not comfortable for a long trip. It forces you to make the trip fast because you're not gonna, drag that out if you're having to haul in temporary litter boxes and do the pet friendly hotels and stuff. You're just gonna try and get as many miles done as you can quickly. Kiki rides basically right here across Cherie, so it's not the most comfortable passenger position.
And when we're stopping in between, like if we want to do a lunch stop or we want to stop and see friends along the way, we have to find something safe to do with Kiki while we go and do something else or something cat friendly. And she's not so great in big crowded areas, so it's not really good to leave her in a small car. We have to worry about heat or cold.
And the Mini Cooper is the most base model Mini Cooper ever made, which doesn't even have cruise control or any of the things that make a long road trip more tolerable. So the Mini Cooper we've already rolled out. We don't want to do another big cross country back and forth with the Mini Cooper and the Cat.
So it is completely feasible for us to just upgrade the Mini Cooper to a more comfortable cross country vehicle and not even worry about towing it behind the bus, just convoying, and we seriously have that still on our radar. That is still an option. But going with a small RV that we can hopscotch with us up and down the coast with the boat, use as our cross-country vehicle, gives us the opportunity to attend more RV events that are on the East Coast, do camping trips from the boat, and do some filming with the RVers and get out and test mobile internet equipment in an RV environment as well as from our boat.
Right. So there's a lot of advantages to get. Once we realize we don't necessarily need to still have a car, we could make this Class B a van, our everything vehicle. And we gave up the idea of whatever we get needs to be towable behind our bus because our bus can't tow anything much larger than a Mini Cooper. Suddenly, it's all the pieces starting to fall into place. So we have a lot of people saying, well, hey, stick to the hotel system. Maybe just get a better car or rent RVs when you need them.
It is an option.
It is an option.
But the idea of a van, it opens up more doors. Or actually, it opens up less doors because we won't go in as many hotels. So it could make what would be a 3-day cross-country trip into a 2-week adventure where we can stop and see friends and family along the way and get out camping more around the year too. So there's a lot that appeals to us about having that small RV. So we're not saying the hotel thing doesn't work. We're just saying it could be more fun.
And hey, and if you have a Class B and you feel like a night in a hotel or a nice fancy Airbnb or something exotic, you can still do it because a van will fit in this regular spot.
Next question.
You're supposed to go. There we go.
All right. Okay.
That's a lot.
So our video that we shared in our first post was from the Tampa RV show, which at those shows, they only show new RVs. So that's what our initial search was focused on, was new RVs. And I think there might have been some misconceptions in there that we're only looking at new RVs. That's not true. We probably likely won't end up with a new RV. Buying a new RV is expensive, and we can't justify the cost.
Right. So we, of course, we're going to look at new RVs. That's the best way to see them sometimes and to get a sense for what's there, what the options are and stuff. But then you go start dialing back, looking for used versions of that model or similar things. It helps you dial it in. And yeah, of course, there's no used RVs at the Tampa RV show, period.
So that first video in our blog post is kind of just a survey of what's currently on the market brand new. And that's when you're shopping for an RV, that's a great place to start. You look at what's currently on the market, get an idea for floor plans, and then you go deeper into the used market.
Because the used market gets a little tough because you're usually making appointments and you're seeing just one rig at a time. Mm-hmm. And they often don't live up to their billing. So you need to know exactly what you really want to see and the questions to ask because, we're discovering that. We'll talk about it a little bit more. And we're starting to look at used RVs right now.
So that's our next step is go look at see what's on the used market. And we more than likely will end up with used.
Okay, this got a lot of comments as people saying you got to go gas or got to go diesel. And in particular, there seems to be the Sprinter chassis. The Mercedes Sprinter is very polarizing. Some people are like, oh, I have to warn you, it's the worst thing ever. Never get a Mercedes, never get a Sprinter. And other people saying it's the best thing ever. I would never get anything else. Nobody seems to be neutral on the Mercedes. But we actually, don't have any set predefined preference other than, the Sprinters are a lot more expensive to start with. So that kind of, we're not going to necessarily need some of the things that a Sprinter can do, like be a 4-wheel drive vehicle or...
the fuel savings, yes, diesel prices are more expensive than gas anyway, and we're not going to be putting a lot of miles on it, really. So the fuel cost consideration isn't high on the criteria list. It's on the list. It's just not high. It's not a workable floor plan for us is more, and also something that fits in the space of a normal parking space.
Yes, relatively fits in a normal parking space, and that is comfortable and easy to drive cross country. So quiet, pleasant to drive around a town. All those things are much more important to us than who made it, who made the chassis, and whether we put gas or diesel in the tank. Odds are gas is going to be the most likely choice, but we haven't ruled one thing out or another. We're not religious in that debate like some people seem to be.
All right, next question. Why not get a small Class C? So, first thing that comes up on the list, and we love them, is the leisure travel vans. They are astoundingly awesome, and we went in. We've been up watching a lot of their videos. We got to tour them at the show. They are amazeballs. Yeah. If I was looking for a 25-foot RV right now to kind of replace our bus. Mm-hmm. It would be no questions asked. I would just go and sign over my life for. They are amazing.
We were very impressed by them, and they're actually in that category, that size class. There's actually several other manufacturers too that would be worth checking out. we got kind of drool worthy at the Tampa RV show. It's like, wow, those are amazing, but they're not what we're looking for. They're bigger, they're wider, and they are very much, they jump out and say, this is an RV, which is not really going to fly in a lot of the parking plots that we want to go to.
At this time, we are not looking to replace the bus. We are still intending the bus to be something that we live on halfish of the year. Because when we get the bus up north, winter's kind of... The boat.
They both start with B.
Yeah, I still get them confused. I'm going to get van confused too.
Yes.
When the boat is in the winter areas, we're going to be on the bus and we're going to want the larger space and roaming around the desert Southwest. That's going to be our desert vehicle.
Yeah, and then the van will be our nimble adventure vehicle if we want to take a trip up into someplace where the bus really isn't meant to go. Maybe do a Baja trip or something like that. We might then leave the bus at its home base in Arizona. So we like that combination of a small and a bigger, and we're not getting rid of the bus.
But why not a Class C is they're too wide and most of them are too long. Now on the Cheap RV Living channel, apparently they profiled a lady who purchased a used 19-foot Class C from Cruise America recently. We got like 100 comments on that. That's still too wide for a normal parking space. Our criteria for this vehicle is something that will fit in a normal parking space, because when we're moving the boat, which will take a week or two to do between marinas, it will stay at one marina or the other, and it needs to be able to fit in a normal marina parking space, which aren't always large.
And they're not necessarily RV-friendly lots and stuff. So a van blends a lot better into the sort of driving we'll be doing on the East Coast.
We also want to be able to comfortably driveway surf with friends and family, and some of our family live in places with RV restrictions where a van that looks a little more stealthy is going to be able to be okay for a couple nights, but something that definitely looks like an RV.
A boxy RV, even a small 20-foot boxy RV, the smallest Class Cs, really wouldn't fit into those.
So that's why not a Class C.
Yes.
All right.
A lot of people say, "Oh, well, just get a trailer." You're missing the point.
So a lot of people have suggested that we just get like an SUV to use for our daily driver, maybe even put a air mattress in the back or something for when we go camping, and then have a trailer that we tow to do the cross-country trips or when we go camping. Okay, that adds two new things to our fleet, two things to insure and keep registered, two things to maintain.
And then also that leaves us the problem is like, okay, now where are we going to store the trailer? All these times we're boating up and down the East Coast, we can hopscotch a car or a van between marinas, but a trailer would likely require finding storage lots and then finding a different storage lot and doing all that futzing and juggling and chaos. And
so just keep in mind, we did our first 4 years on the road in a usually an SUV or a small truck and trailer situation. We love that, but we also know what the challenges are with having two things to store when you need to store them.
And also, and again, that's a been there, done that thing for us. For us, Class Bs and vans are a type of RVing we have not done yet. So that's like, this is something fun and new and different. So, actually, we've even rented Class Cs before. So we've done Class Cs, we've done buses, Class As, we've done tiny trailers. So we haven't done a Class B. We've got to fill in all the check boxes here.
All right, so that's why not doing a trailer. Another one that came up very frequently, and this is actually a really good one. It actually caused us to think, like, well, why aren't we considering this? And that's getting a truck with a truck camper, because that could fit in a small normal parking spot.
And it is. It's like,
that would actually stopped us to contemplate.
Yeah, we've never been truck people or truck camper people. I guess we did have a truck for years when we had a Toyota Tundra towing out one of our trailers, but a truck camper is definitely not in any fashion stealthy. You drive into a community and it's like, oh, it's a camper. It's not quite sure how that will fly.
And I'm not sure the marina parking lots that wouldn't allow an RV probably wouldn't allow us to keep a truck camper there. But
we've seen a lot of them that have vans and even camper vans that are because they're just not, they don't scream, "Hey, I'm an RV," particularly when they aren't over decaled and stuff like that.
So that one did, but that's also then two vehicles to have registered and insured and so. But no, I think Class B is still. Right. Still is what we want. I just don't think we want to bring on two things to our fleet.
And then also, a truck and a truck camper, that combination gets very, very expensive too.
Can be,
yes. Mm-hmm. Hey.
All right. So another great option that people have brought up is, why don't we just get a basic minivan or a
box shell van, yeah.
And just make it really minimalist. Put a futon in it, or a air mattress and a porta potty, and get a camp stove. And that is totally an option.
that is a practical way to go. And if we were trying to just replace the Mini Cooper and just do this on the most extreme budget, that is smart. I mean, that would be a smart plan. But again, we want something that will let us do camping trips, go out for a weekend while we're on the East Coast, or go for a week trip here and there, that is comfortable and enjoyable to go camping in. And, well, we're going to be doing a filming for a TV show about RVing, so it would be good to have something that
does classify as an RV. So
yes.
we're in this middle ground. We want something that doesn't necessarily scream RV, but we do need something that says I'm an RV.
Yeah. So we need something that can go both ways. It can pass as a vehicle and a daily driver and a van, but it's also this is really credibly an RV, and that's of course that's the niche that Class Bs, that camper vans fit
is that
into.
Crossover vehicle.
So
yeah, there's a lot to be said for getting a shell and starting minimalist, and then maybe going to a custom conversion. But I don't think that's us.
No, and again, we can do something different. And then,
all right, the number one question that we got, I would say 15-20% of the questions we got is, why don't you just have it custom built
and get exactly what you want?
Sportsmobile.
Have you heard of Sportsmobile?
An advanced RV, and there's a bunch of other smaller converters, and they have stellar reputations.
Some of them do.
Yes, especially Sportsmobile and
advanced RV
in particular.
If I had an infinite budget and infinite time to devote to putting the project together, advanced RV seems to be the gold standard. I'd start there. They do really cool, geeky stuff.
So, but we already have a bus that we custom converted or reconverted. We have a boat that we're doing a lot of custom stuff on. We consider those two our primary homes. And for this, I don't want to put the mental energy into doing a custom design.
Yes. We actually did a custom when we did our Oliver trailer. We basically did everything custom on that too. So we've been through the do a custom thing and all sorts of different variations. And that's fun to do, but that's not what we're looking to do right now for a couple of reasons. One is we're new to Class Bs, so we would be not necessarily ready to make our final decisions and stuff until we've learned about what we like and don't like in a Class B. So this would be not to invest in something crazy expensive and super custom until we know exactly what we want. And then also, it's just the timing. We want to get something before our next relocation to from the boat to the bus,
which could be as soon as this summer.
Yeah, and we'd ideally love to have something as soon as late March to go to like the Our Village rally and stuff like that. Which means these custom converters sometimes have 12 to 18 month waiting lists to get started. So that's not,
or till delivery anyway.
Yeah, yes.
And so between the analysis paralysis that would come about from trying to make so many decisions on what we actually want in a van versus the time to wait, and then we would probably change our mind 100 times in that process. This time around, for our first Class B conversion van, and it being something that is just going to be a driver, an occasional camper, and a shuttlecraft, I don't think we need custom on this one. We want to just find something that we can drive off a lot.
Yeah, maybe our second Class B someday, if we love the Class B van life hashtag thing, maybe then we'll do something cool and custom, but not our first one.
Right. That's generally a piece of advice we give to folks that's just starting out with RVing, is for your first RV, consider it that, just your first RV. We've seen a lot of people do custom the very first one they get, and they put a lot of heart and soul and money into it. And it's not until you get out living on them for a while that you really decide what it is you need. And though we have lots of experience in small living, our first trailer was 16 feet, our second was 18, and we've got so many years on the road, the Class B this style of usage is too new to us to want to put that sort of mental energy into. So,
okay, is there other questions? Oh yeah, so that was the questions.
So people, there was the last question that you just skipped over.
I did.
Yes. What's on the short list?
Oh, there it was. Okay, yeah, jump past. So what have we looked at? And I will make this minimize, so we could talk about our hunt so far.
So we did the Tampa RV show, so you saw what we liked there. The Pleasure Way is definitely beautiful, but way out of our intended price range.
Yeah,
But their quality,
the Pleasureways, high quality. And one comment I ran across online that definitely fits is that they're not Pleasureway is focused on quality, but they're not technologically adventurous, which is kind of true. And we are kind of technologically adventurous. So if we were going to go for something
brand new,
I'd probably want something with more geeky points. Maybe, I don't know.
But a used Pleasureway is definitely on the radar.
Yes,
we do have our eyes out for used ones. That would be, a much lower entry point. So definitely Pleasureway is on the list.
Yeah, they're one of the ones that we've heard from many, many people that age well. And there's other Class Bs that do not age well. So, that's always something to look for.
The Heimer Active is still on the list. We did do a second and third look at them. Last weekend we spent some time over at a local RV dealer that has a whole bunch of Class Bs on the lot, and got to spend more extended time in a lot of the models that we've been looking at for new anyway. But again, it's new. There's right now the Road Trek Heimer issue going on where we don't know a lot of dealers are actually starting to not honor warranties on them until they know what the status is of the company.
Until they know that Road Trek will be able to pay them. So I would be very hesitant to buy anything new from Heimer/Road Trek
until that shakes out.
Until everything is straightened out, the dealers are all back on board, the employees are no longer disgruntled, and who knows what they're doing to things they're building right now. That's not a. But then again, now the used Road Treks, there's a long history of used Road Treks, and those are actually high on the list. There's some interesting ones there.
Yep. So, of the Road Treks, we liked the simplicity because it's simple. The layout's pretty nice. It's simple. We wouldn't be going high tech that way, and this RV doesn't have to be high tech. No, I don't think. But it's nice.
And if it's not high tech, we maybe just might end up doing some of that high tech stuff ourselves, but we don't need to do it day one, which is great. And yeah, so of the new Road Treks, the simplicity is actually the one that most pressed our buttons. The way that Road Trek has done some of their high tech stuff is actually not exactly how I would do it anyway. So there's some things there other than just the factory issues going on right now.
We today had the opportunity to look at a 2013 Road Trek 170 in person. It was through a video viewer like yourself who had a lead.
Yeah, they're like, hey, I just went to my mechanic and he just had this RV brought in for sale. It seems like it's in great shape and everybody says everything on it works. Don't believe that always.
We probably should have asked a few more questions before making the hour-and-a-half trip to go see it. But it was really educational. The 170 floor plan was probably a little bit too compromised for us. The bed is slightly too small. He's a little too tall for it. And
it would do in a pinch, but
it'd be fine. It wouldn't be something. And the bathroom configuration was
performance art.
It opens up to the bed. So there's no privacy from the bed and the bathroom, which we'll be using bathhouses a lot of the time, but that's not ideal. Yeah. So it's probably a little too compromised for us. We did look at the one we looked at, it was not in the shape that was stated to us. It felt more like a 20-year-old RV than a 6-year-old.
And the generator hadn't been started in many, 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 many years, and it seems like it might never start again. So there was that kind of surprise when we got to it as well. Yeah. So
then we did look at the local dealer here. They had a used 190, the Road Trek 190, which is slightly bigger, and that layout was actually much more usable for us. But that one was priced at the price of a brand new RV, so I was like, yeah, right, no. But the one that is pressing our buttons right now the most, and we spent a considerable amount of time, is in the Travados, and the 59K, which is the one with the 2 twin beds, is nice, but it's just not feeling homey to us.
But we spent some time in the 59G, and we've been doing a lot of online research on the 59G, and that we just keep going back to that. That one is definitely pressing a lot of our buttons. They've only been out since about 2014 or maybe 2013, so they're still a relatively new model, but there are some used ones available. Or we you find an amazing deal on a new one. The newest ones.
Apparently the models kind of shift here in the next month or two, so we might keep our eye out to see if there's any closeout deals on them.
Yeah, or figure out some, because the new ones with the lithium setup is how I would have designed a lithium system into a small class B.
You've been consulting with Volta even on designing
the company that Winnebago's using Volta Power Systems, and I've been in touch with Volta Power Systems for years when they were just brainstorming about entering the RV market. So it's kind of like, yeah, that's the sort of thing I would build. So the geek lust is there. I'm not sure we can really justify it for our needs, but overall we've been really impressed with just how smartly thought through a lot of the design is on the Travato. And it's actually Winnebago's entry level Class B, so it's not super glammed out, which most of the glam stuff is like, who needs granite countertops in your van, and all the other stuff some of the fancier Class B converters do. So that's kind of our short list at the moment. We still need to go see the Coachman CrossFit.
So we're probably going to make a trip up to Gainesville here in the next couple of weeks, to Sunshine RV, which is another big Class B dealer, both of used and new ones, and they apparently do carry the CrossFit by Coachman. So we've heard that's one we should look at. So we'll definitely get some time there and go see what they have on their used lot. We're of course watching what's on their used list. But we're still in the sponging it up mode.
Yes, we've been mega sponging right now. We've been reading a lot of people's past histories with various RVs and the quality of them.
Been watching a lot of the Fit RV YouTube channels. Ultra Mobility has some great reviews of stuff too, so we've been watching a lot of that.
Yeah, a lot of people. Have you seen Ultra Mobility? I think we had 40 people tell us to check out Ultra Mobility.
So
we have been watching a lot of Ultra Mobility videos. And there's a lot of the whole Class B subsegment of the RV world is very vibrant. There's a lot of really neat stuff going on there, so it's been kind of fun to dip our toes, because in some ways we're not at all novices, but in other ways we are complete novices when it comes to van life.
Yep. So, So next up is to get some more time looking at more.
Initially we had said that our limit was we wanted to stay under 20 feet. The Travato has us tempted to go 21. And that's
but that is definitely the high end. Then
the CrossFit's 22, so we're going to have to really see.
I don't think we're going to want 22. I think 21's going to be pushing it already.
Yes, but we will check it out just because we've heard enough people say, hey, it really isn't that big of a deal. But yeah, definitely a 24-foot. So there's a lot of there's a lot of Class Bs that are in the 24-foot range. We know that will be pushing it in a lot of the parking spots that we want to go. So we already think 21 might be pushing it. But then again, like the Road Trek 17-foot, the one we just saw today, was probably too small. So I
think the size would have been okay. It just wasn't laid out in a style.
This particular one wasn't. Yeah. It had a few customizations that weren't exactly what we... Yeah, anyway. So between 17 and 21 feet seems to be the target, and we'll see what we could find. And again, we've had a lot of actually great leads and suggestions and tips in the comments in our videos and on the blog post, and even specific recommendations of, hey, I know this great RV for sale. So, hey, that's great.
Definitely keep us in the loop if you know someone who is selling a nicely used one. So we're open for, that's all the content we had prepared. This was kind of impromptu. But feel free to ask questions. We'll be happy to field any that you have. I'll kind of go look through the comments and see if there's anything that we can address. Evan says, I keep repeating. Well, we haven't been watching we've been presenting, but seriously curious if you've looked into the Japanese direct import motorhomes.
Never heard of the Japanese direct import motorhomes. I'm assuming, because there's also some, I've heard of European imported motorhomes. They're very hard to come by in the United States. So if somebody knows of some really cool, like, foreign import motorhome that is available for sale somewhere within not too far from Florida, we'd be interested in hearing about it. But if somebody's saying you should go import something from some other country, that's probably a 6-month or a year-long process from what I've read sometimes to deal with all the crazy import rules and paperwork and stuff. So probably we're not going to be, particularly for this first RV, where we're not going to fly to Japan or to Europe to test drive something. We're not going to do any sort of import. Maybe some future day sometime. But if somebody's got a used one in the States, let us know.
Yep. Yeah, we are looking for something that is not going to have a lot of difficulty obtaining. We've had some great ones mentioned from Canada as well, but
Yep.
again, there's the import-export things,
Yeah,
and I just
like so, a lot of people say great things about Safari Condo, but apparently to get one for the U.S., you have to buy a van in the U.S., take it to Safari Condo, leave it with them for 6 to 8 months, and then it's yours. So that's not a process we can go through. Again, if we find a cool used Safari Condo, that might be great, but we're definitely not going to go through the hoops to get a new one.
Mm-hmm. All right, we have a suggestion to buy a used ambulance, and you'll be able to park anywhere. You actually
I was talking about that today. Yes, I actually had a friend in the San Francisco Bay Area who had an ambulance that he had decked out for Burning Man. It was the ambient ambulance, and they would go and deploy grilled cheese out in the desert and play ambient music. So
yeah, I don't think I'm hip enough for something like that.
But
I kind of want something that kind of blends in. Oh, we got a super chat that I forgot.
I forgot all about super chat.
Thanks,
Yes,
Diane.
awesome.
Yes, we do. I guess have the super chat brought on if you care to send over some virtual treats.
You could probably send over enough for us to buy a Travato if you really want.
Yeah, if you really want to send over enough. Yeah.
But yeah, so and again, like some of the places we want to go and park would be parking in front of our parents' neighborhoods and houses, and I don't think having an ambulance parked in front of your mom's house would go
in a
over
55
very well.
plus up community. Yes. Probably would.
Every time that an ambulance comes into that neighborhood, the gossip wheels start to turn, so that one probably would not fly.
Okay, let's see.
I saw some questions here about the Travato K versus G. We've looked at them both, and for us, we're much more called to the G. We went back to relook at the K because we had so many people say the K was their favorite, and the G floor plan clicked a lot more for us. I guess it's really that's why they make multiple floor plans. Some people really love the K. Clearly, for us, it was the G that was pressing our buttons at least.
We like to snuggle.
Yeah, we don't mind that the bed is relatively small. It's long enough is kind of key.
Yeah, and the G is long enough for Chris.
Yes, and then we kind of really like the bed, and the G is a Murphy bed, so when we're not using it as a camping vehicle, it just folds up out of the way, and you've got great storage space in the back. It's good
great
for hauling cargo.
Great spaces down there to put cat litter box, which is important. And
we really like the bathroom on the G.
Yeah, I did not like the bathroom in the K being out the back like that.
Yes, it kind of takes away that whole back. We'd like to be able to have that big screened area open up, and we don't want the bathroom to be what is your outside view. But again, different strokes for different folks, and so that's part of the fun of shopping. Is there's no one right answer for everyone.
Let's see. Bunga Docking Life says Seattle has a company that specializes in importing cool
JDM RVs.
Yes,
okay.
The Japanese things, really cool designs. 4x4 often available. We don't need 4x4.
It would be cool, but again, it's not on our important list. No. And right-hand drive, though, that would be really okay. But yeah, the again a weird import, unless we could find one somewhere close to Florida that we could check it out. It's probably not what we're looking for.
We are
this.
not interested in traveling really far to get one. We want low hanging fruit here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we've got a model that we know exactly what we want, and there's one for sale someplace that we can fly to and road trip it back, that'd be good if we knew exactly what we were looking for and what we were getting. But something that we can't even see until we go to some faraway place is probably not going to fly. Again, we also have on our radar, we've heard so many good things about sportsmobiles and advanced RVs. And
looking for used ones of those ready to go.
If a cool used one pops up in a place that we can check it out, we are definitely interested in those.
What have we considered a Tofino?
Tofino? I think a Tofino... I'll have to Google that one because actually I think the Tofino's bigger than we're looking for, but I'm not remembering. I'll have to double check.
Hasn't been on our radar.
Yes.
Are any of the Class A, B mattresses livable? Class A, you mean B mattresses?
The mattresses. So that's actually one kind of thing that's kind of cool about the Winnebago's using the Froley little mini inner springs under their mattresses. It felt pretty comfortable.
Yeah, that's a really nice real mattress, whereas a lot of the Class Bs that we've been looking at are more of a convertible bench seat that kind of folds down.
In which case, a lot of times what you do is you leave the bed set up and or you have a roll-up mini mattress that you can put on top. And so we've gone through making uncomfortable beds comfortable before in the past, but it's nice to have something at least decent to start with.
Right. What kind of mile per gallon are these things getting?
15 to 25, actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
Much better than our boat.
Yeah, and actually that's even more better miles per gallon than we used to get with our towing with the Jeep back in the day. So this is actually kind of like, wow, the fuel economy is kind of impressive for vans.
CS would like to know, do they all have wet showers at this length? And I think all of them are pretty much wet showers.
Yeah.
The Travado 59G is, I would consider it semi-wet because it's got a nice curtain between the commode and the shower head and kind of a little bit of area. I mean, we're not looking, and these, we would more than likely be using bathhouses or our friends and families for real showers. These would be just for, a quick rinse sort of showers if we use them.
And actually quite a few of them have that little outside showers if what you really need is just to rinse your feet or something like that. So again, because they have small tanks, these aren't things like our bus or our boat where we can have the long, hot, luxurious showers and all that stuff. But we've done, in our Oliver, we had a wet bath, and we got really proficient at using it and being very water efficient. So
it's fine. It's fine for a few days, and he's just gonna be an in transit thing, and maybe find a campground and. Just go back to that. This isn't for long-term living for us, but that's one of my fears about the Travado is it almost feels like something that it would be very comfortable.
It's like, hey, let's do 3-month trip instead of just 3 weeks.
Pickle Wandering would like to know, how old is our limit on the Class B? I don't know that we have a limit. It's...
So like the one we looked at today was 5 or 6 years old, but it felt like it was 15 or 20. It had water damage and the seats were cracked and stuff like that. So, we bought a 1961 bus. We're not afraid necessarily of old, but particularly for this, we want a vehicle that we can feel safe and comfortable doing cross-country trips. So we want something that is in mechanically really good shape, not any sort of mystery project, there's just some rust you got to deal with type stuff. So if it's been garaged and is in wonderful shape, or it's been living in the desert and it's wonderful shape, we're not opposed to old. There's some pretty cool old ones.
Have we taken a Class B for a test drive?
We have not. I was hoping to take the one we saw today for a test drive, but once we were so certain that it wasn't going to be for us, we was just not going to ask her for a test drive. We didn't want to even lead her on. And we might go try and get some test drives and stuff. I've actually watched people's test drives on YouTube, and I've driven plenty of similar-ish vehicles in the
we
past.
Didn't test drive our boat or our
bus before
we got it. So we're pretty adaptable to what we have. So.
Yes.
Let's see. Previously mentioned that our friends had a CrossFit. Was it the 22-foot length? Only reason why you've eliminated it. We have not eliminated it.
Right. That's why we're saying we're going to drive across the state to go see one.
We do want to see one before we say yay or nay, but we think 22 foot is going to be too long.
Right.
So it's not high on the list, but it is something we feel we should see in person
right.
first.
And we had watched like the construction videos and some of the stuff that the coachman is doing some really neat stuff with the CrossFit. So I would, for somebody else, just the quality vibe we're getting is that there's a lot of good stuff to consider with the CrossFit. Even if it's not a good fit for us, it might end up on our we heard good things, we can endorse this for other people list.
Right. Apparently the Fit RV is selling their yellow Travado.
Oh, I did not see that.
That could be interesting.
We've been watching their videos and stuff, but we have not actually reached out and said hi to them. They've said hi to us, though. I think,
they actually responded to my Instagram post.
Right. So we're aware of each other. We all think we just never actually had much chance to communicate.
Yeah, I've really been enjoying watching their videos.
Their videos are fun.
Yes.
So hey guys, if you happen to catch this one, we really dig your videos. They're really well done.
Laughter on Water says, would you consider getting a Class B with a slide out for a Murphy bed? If there was one in the size class that we're looking for,
the 24-foot is the one that has the slide
Winnebago Era has that, and it was a really sweet layout. Unfortunately, it's just too big. So we have not seen that option in the smaller size.
No, the kind of Murphy bed, there's the kind that the Travado has the fold down from the side, and then there's the kind that the Revel has that drops down from above.
And the Heimer also kind of folds down as well, but it stores away, and so there are some of the concepts of that without having slide outs in some of these Class Bs. Mm-hmm. Question from Darren is, why not
with
a Class...
super chat payment? Right?
Yes. So Mark says, have you thought of a coachman? And thank you for the super chat, $1.99. And yes, we the Coachman CrossFit. I'm assuming
Yes.
that you are mentioning, and yes, we are planning to go see one in person. It is the closest one to us is unfortunately 2.5 hours away from us. So
Yes, I think unless somebody knows of one in near Orlando, but I don't think I saw one.
yeah, maybe we
listed
need
anywhere.
to search a little bit
Yes.
more. But Sunshine RV has a bunch of other models and some used ones, so
Right.
we're probably going to do a combo trip
Yeah.
up there.
But and if you guys got a Road Trek 190, yeah, if there's anything you particularly love or don't love about it, we're appreciating hearing from actual owners about how they think their RVs, even if they're not selling them, how they think they would fit our needs.
Right. We did look at a 190 at the local lot, and
it's kind of impressive.
it was impressive. It was very priced very high, but
yes, that particular 190 was way overpriced for what it was, but the model overall is actually it's got a reputation. It's a good one.
And Darren asked, why not the Class C? And we did discuss,
That was
as
one of
Joe
the-
said, go catch the archive. We actually did a whole section on that. Biohazard says you might want to give Parkway RV in Georgia a look. They do a lot of volume and used RVs. I've seen their website, and we just need to see how far away they are from us.
Yeah, if they're we'll definitely add them to our list of ones to scan, because if there's something that is particularly awesome there, that could be something we'll keep on our radar. Georgia's not too far.
Yep. Pat asks, will we store the van in the Southwest once you pick up the bus? So the bus will be roaming around the Southwest, probably mostly just Arizona, maybe Southern California, maybe New Mexico, mostly. More than likely, because the places we like to go in the bus are not close to places to run for provisioning. We like to boondock for a week or two at a time. So we're going to want a get-around vehicle. So we will convoy. The bus is not really capable of towing too much the way that it's built. It's a monocoque construction.
It's
more
built
like
like an airplane, not like a truck.
It's so it really can't tow something as heavy as a van. So we'll just convoy with it. So it's not going to be many miles. I'll just drive the van. He'll drive the bus, and
then if there are times that we're just taking the bus someplace where we know we want just the bus, we've got a storage lot in Benson, Arizona that we can use. So we can leave one or the other behind depending on what kind of trips we want, or convoy.
Let's see. Austin says he loves the older Winnebago Rialta best, but those might be a bit too long for your requirements. So we actually had the opportunity when we were in between the Oliver and the bus, is we borrowed a friend's Lasharo, which is the predecessor to the Rialta. Really funny story there on the blog if you go look that up.
It's one of the funniest things we've ever experienced.
But we borrowed that for about 6 weeks and used that as our temporary housing and first searches for buses.
At the time, we considered it a moving van with a bed in it.
It's pretty cool. I could see it working, but it is too big for this purpose.
Yeah.
We know what it's like to park one of them. It is not. It can fit in a regular slot, but not quite.
It's not quite the size we're looking for, and it also does not have any sort of stealth. When a Rialta shows up, it's like, oh, what's that? That's not just a van in a parking lot.
Mm-hmm. Rick asked, did you get the solar system on the boat yet? No, not yet. Someone needs to get on the boat with that.
We're hoping, we're trying to track down some help fabricating a little bit of the arch work here. Hopefully, if anybody knows any good fabricators in Central Florida, but we're getting close. We got the design mostly worked out. Yep. Just need to get the arches handled.
And how do solar panels hold up to storms, hail, and rain? So solar panels are made to be outside on top of roofs, so they're kind of designed for that sort of stuff.
Yes. Nobody with a house is running outside.
All right. Let's see.
There's a lot of questions coming in here. Okay.
Do we ever do quartzite? Yeah, we've been out there a couple of times.
And do you recommend it? It's like we think every RVer, if they're anywhere close, should experience quartzite at least once. It's kind of something you need to do. Some people really love it. Some people really love to say they did it once. So, but definitely if you're nearby, try it out. It's kind of fun, particularly if you're set up for boondocking.
Yep. And have we ever been to the RTR, which is a big event that happens around Quartzsite, the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous? And we have not camped with them, but we have spoken at their events in the past when they're much smaller.
Yeah, we've spoken there. We've hung out there. We know people who do the RTR every year. It's gotten huge in the past 2 years. It's just insane.
Patricia would like to know, do we read Mike Wendland's blog? And not only do we read it, we've been a guest on their podcast, and we actually met him at the Tampa RV Show.
Yeah, very briefly there.
Are we going to keep the Mini? No, the plan is to replace the Mini with a camper van.
Yes.
Can we share with us tonight the floor plan of the 59G?
Yes.
Yeah, we have the brochure. I was going to say, well, you can go look up the webpage. But I actually have their brochure here. So there are the 2 floor plans of, let's see, going this way, of the Travados. The top one is the G, so it's got a corner bed and a front little lounge area, which we really liked. And then the K has the twin beds in the center that can convert to a king with a bit of effort.
Yes.
So there you go. You can.
Da, 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 da. So, yeah. We didn't prepare slides of the particular RVs we looked at, but it's a very nice floor plan. I like how they make kind of a separate lounge area and bed area. And I saw somebody else commented about how a lot of the Class Bs, the front seats can't really turn around. There's just no space to really do much with the front seats, and that kind of wastes that entire front area if the layout isn't smart. So we like how the Travado really takes advantage of the front seats and lets them become...
we sat in the little lounge area for quite a bit. We both cuddled up in the bed. Yeah. Both spent time in the bathroom. We did not use the bathroom. We spent time in it.
They frown on using the bathrooms at the dealers.
Actually, it signs on it. But it just felt comfortable all over. Thank you, Mark, for another contribution. We super appreciate that.
And they have 100,000 miles on their 190
already.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, the older road treks have a very good reputation, and they're definitely zeroing in on some of the older ones is on our radar. There's a lot of used ones out there. Road Trek was the leader in Class Bs for the longest time. I think Winnebago's technically past them now, but...
BW Sky Night says there's Travados for rent in Florida. I did actually look at Outdoorsy to see what was available to rent. We're considering renting one. They're kind of on the pricey side.
To rent, yeah.
They're like $250 a night, which is cheaper than buying one and deciding you don't like it. But we spent a considerable amount of time on the lot in one, and
yeah, and
I don't know that I'd just go buy a new one, but buying a used one maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yep. All right.
Gosh, the comments keep bouncing around here, unfortunately.
Yes, that is the nice thing about
our apology if we miss any of your questions here. That is the perk of the super chat, is we can't miss your question because it's in bright colors.
Yes. Lulu says she's delighted to run into us, and yes, they saw us roaming around Sanford and said hello. It was awesome to see you guys. Let's see. Maybe keep the Mini and let Kiki drive it.
There she is back there.
Kiki, what do you think about that idea?
She's been learning to. Oh yes, okay. Don't need that there. Yeah. Bing. She's been learning to drive the boat, but I'm not sure she'd be up for driving a Mini Cooper. Even as small as it is, she can't reach the pedals, and it doesn't have cruise control. If it did, maybe. Boondocking Life asked about the truck camper again. That's one of the questions to rewind back. We had a whole section on that.
Yep. Apparently, the Winlands are not renewing their ambassadorship with the Road Trekker Heimer effective now, so they are now shopping for a new Class B or B+.
Interesting, yeah. It will be very interesting to find out exactly what really happened at Road Trek. I'm sure the dust will shake out over the next year, but right now, all we know is it's up to forensic accountants to figure out what went wrong.
But that is really telling that the Winlands are giving up their ambassadorship when they've been known as road trekking for so long.
Yeah, that's their website. I mean,
they're now RV Lifestyle.
But it's still their website. It's a URL. They're gonna have to migrate.
That's really telling, and
else.
I'm not sure I'm willing to take on right now until things shake out. Have we checked out the Road Trek 210 model? I think that's too large. I think the 190 is probably as large.
But if we're considering the Travado, that's so that's the 21 foot. So I guess maybe we should if we're starting to peak over that 20 foot limit. We hadn't because we were ruling it out, but the Travado's got us thinking maybe we'll do 21.
Paul says, what is our favorite Class B so far? So go back and look just after the Q&A. We did a short list of what is on our list. Vic says he loves the new red hair color. Thank you. I just had that done by Sabine is one of our longtime viewers, and she's a hairstylist here in Sanford.
And we've so enjoyed getting to know her.
And we're loving getting to know her and her husband. And she watched our last video and says, okay, guys, it's time to come in for a refresh. We're like, all right.
So sometimes when we get people complaining about our videos, if they actually have an action plan of, hi, I want to color your hair and I want to cut. She was complaining about mine, not hers. It's like, you're looking really shaggy, Chris. You need to come in. I'm like, okay, fine.
Have we looked at the Winnebago Paseo?
That's Well, it's bigger. That's,
Okay.
I'm not sure whether that's 24 feet or not, but it was on the bigger side.
Sell everything and buy an earth roamer. No, we really like we've still committed to boating, and we love our bus.
Yes.
So
The again, for if our mission was to do a round the world expedition, yeah, Earth roamer would be up there, but that's not our current mission.
Not our current mission.
We're looking for a teleportation pod between coasts.
All right, I think we're going to wrap it up. This thing, the questions are
Starting to repeat.
Yes. The vacuum would like to know what is our average fuel consumption on Zephyr, which is a 1961 vintage bus conversion, and we've been getting between 7 and a 7.5 on it, depending upon it's a naturally aspirated diesel engine, so it depends on altitude as to what the fuel consumption is.
Tailwinds and stuff, but I think we've even hit 8 maybe on a tank, but it's under 8 usually.
Mm-hmm. And Palm Creek Antiques is moving on to boating content. So
they bought a trawler and they're really nervous. They've driven RVs.
So how do we get proficient? We hired a training captain and then just went out and did it and got used to it.
Yeah, just practice on the days when the winds are calm, and just get better and better. It's I don't know. It is very different from RVing, because RVing, if you get nervous, you just pull the parking brake, catch your breath, and you're done. But a boat, you can't stop.
Yeah.
So
James says, yes, they are pricey by the day to rent, but if you rent for 30 days, it goes down to $117 a day.
Or we could start buying a used one for that.
Or for $3,000, yeah, that's a lot of money just to try something out. And I know I don't have 30 days to try something out. I'm looking for something that is going to be comfortable for 3 or 4 days at a time, maybe.
Yes. But it's I mean, I a lot of people have the advice of, like, before you buy something, go rent stuff. I'm never, because when you rent things, it's a whole different feel than when you own them, and that's never been a model that really works for me. But I know it works for some people. So
no, we have a really good idea, and we're not gonna. Our method is don't overspend on the RV that you want to buy, especially if you're not sure if it's going to be right. And leave yourself the wiggle room to change things up later if it doesn't work for you. This particular vehicle doesn't have to be
the most amazing thing in the world, because it's our third house in a sense. Yeah,
our focus is the bus and the boat being perfect for us, and they both are. So
Jake, the massage guy, showed up. Hey, the guy we met at the Tampa.
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome. It was really fun to meet you there.
All right.
Okay, I think we need to call, and the blimp is still in the works. I check eBay every day for used Zeppelins, and there are so few of them, but that's my dream. If you know of a Zeppelin, Class B Zeppelin, I'm down.
All right, guys, thanks for joining in. Hope that gives you a little more insight into where we are in our search. And there's Courtney and
Carl. Oh my gosh, miss you guys.
351 watching. Wow, Johnny.
So people seem to really like this Class B stuff, so we will keep filling people in on our hunt, and we got some good footage out and about, and we'll keep sending the great suggestions our ways.
All right, so thank you, and we'll update next time we have some updates. Hey. And here's some footage from our last shopping excursion.
Let me do that.
Video loop.
Turn our microphone down.
Where's Fred Zion?
No, this is an Era, wasn't it?
No,
this is Zion. Ah, yes, okay. They all blur together. Here's the working position.
Yeah, that looks comfy.
Finally get around here, Joe. Storage there, storage here, storage there. No, this is an Era, wasn't it?
No,
this is Zion. Ah, yes, okay. They all blur together. Here's the working position.
Yeah, that looks comfy.